Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, guys, I'm just going to lay this out for you guys. Thick, hard, fast, without any sugar. What I'm seeing right now is an absolute signal that America is... I can't believe I'm saying this. What I'm seeing right now is a signal that America is losing. That's the signal I'm getting, guys. And I never thought I'd actually say that. I never thought I'd say that. One of two things have happened. Either, well, clearly this has definitely happened. The Americans have absolutely underestimated the Iranians. They've underestimated the Iranians' ability to produce and launch drones. And they have underestimated or overestimated, whichever way you look at it, the appetite in Iran to overthrow the government. This happened in Ukraine. This is exactly what happened in Ukraine. Putin thought he was going to walk into Ukraine and the people in Ukraine were going to revolt. They were going to welcome the Russians in with open arms. Turns out that's not happened, ladies and gentlemen, okay? I genuinely cannot believe I'm saying this right now, okay? I'm getting the signals. And look, guys, when I do these live streams, I don't listen to what other people say. I don't listen to the flim-flammer and the bullshit. I look at what's happening on the ground. I look at whatever information I can get. I make my own analysis as someone who's worked at the highest levels of military planning, someone who's worked as a governmental advisor, strategic advisor for governments at the highest level, and I look at what's happening, all right? So when people are coming out and saying, we're winning, that's absolutely fine. Look at what they are doing. And ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the crux of this live stream, the signals, the information, the direction of travel right now is that the Americans are not winning. That's what I'm getting, guys. I might be wrong. I don't think I am. I wouldn't come out there here and say that I think they're losing. I think they're losing if I didn't think they were. Benjamin Netanyahu. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something definitely going with Benjamin Netanyahu. I don't know what this case is. I know we have people on the chat from the chat in Israel, and I would greatly appreciate any inside information on this, guys, because if this is true, this is like, I can't tell you how seismic this is. I cannot tell you guys how seismic this is if Netanyahu is dead. So first of all, I first reported on this yesterday. I shared with you, excuse me. I first shared this with you guys yesterday. There was a video shared online of Benjamin Netanyahu, and it looked like it was AI. He was doing this sort of stuff, and he had like an extra finger. There's a lot of artifacts in that video that just didn't make sense. And what I said, I played devil's advocate when we talked about Netanyahu dead. I did absolutely 100% play devil's advocate. And I just said, look, we don't know, right? It's early days. There could be a lot of explanations for this. However, you know, we've just got one video. Now, it turns out there was a meeting today of the or I think it's like the Supreme, the Israeli Security Council or something. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu usually chairs that meeting. I'll share this with you in a minute. He was missing. So you would think that he would want to show his face, right? And say, hey, everyone, you know, I'm here, I'm okay, and I've got all my fingers. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, right now, I'm genuinely shocked. The United States are advising every U.S. citizen that's in Iraq to leave immediately. Now, if anybody's been to Baghdad, for those of you guys who know, I've spent 5 years there, lived in Baghdad, that exact area. My accent, my Arabic accent is Baghdadabik. Habibi and the Gul Arabicas. Baghdadabik. Yeah, I speak Baghdadabic. That's what they say. I've got a Baghdad accent. So I understand. I know this place very well. The US Embassy is being evacuated. And it turns out from Fox News, we're going to need special forces to go in to the to these nuclear facilities to close them down because the bunker busters won't do it. Honestly, I can't, the amount of information that's happened today, ladies and gentlemen, and you know what? The mainstream media have no idea what's happening. Why? But don't worry, in a couple of months, the mainstream media will be reporting, they'll be talking about stuff we're talking about on this live stream right now. Also, everybody needs to get ready for tomorrow as well, because it's this Al-Quds Day March. I'll be talking about that as well. London is at risk of some sort of Al-Quds Day protest march tomorrow. We will be talking about that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's just jump into this because I've got a lot to get through today. If you're on and you've not done so already, guys, can you please hit those buttons down below, the like, comment, subscribe, bell notification. If you want tomorrow's news today, hit those buttons down below. So let's just start with this. Let me share this with you guys, actually, real quick. Honestly, there is so much. Right. Donald Trump urges the UK and other nations to send ships to help secure the Strait of Hormuz after Iranian attacks. That's from the BBC. Now, I know I'm sharing the BBC, but if I share the BBC, I'm pretty solid that I'm not going to get taken down for misinformation. Yes, I know that's paradoxical. Right, look, guys, I'm just going to get into this, okay? Sit down, get yourselves a drink, potentially a strong one. Because something that's got the whole world on edge. Donald Trump just dropped another bombshell on his Truth Social, saying it loud and clear, one way or another, we will soon get the Strait of Hormuz open. You can't, it's not that easy, guys. It's not that easy. He reckons that the United States has already destroyed 100% of Iran's military capability, but admits the Iranians can still fire drones, lay mines, fire off close-range missiles. So, like, what, you know, we've destroyed 100% of Iran's military. We have destroyed them. They've got nothing left. However, they can still fire drones, lay mines, and fire missiles. Like, say that again. Can anyone make that make sense? So what's his fix? Bomb the shoreline, shoot every Iranian boat in the water if need be. And here's the kicker, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the kicker. Donald Trump is openly calling on other countries to help. China, France, Japan, South Korea, and the United Kingdom. And many more countries. Send your warships, join the Americans, make this vital shipping lane safe again. Ladies and gentlemen, right, if you're watching right now, I'm genuinely, you know, when I give you guys things and like, no, everybody's like, no, Sean, you're wrong, Sean, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. There may be a day when Raven foreboasts all those that come before him. There may be a day that Raven's analysis may fall short of the real world situation. 'Tis not this day. Now, if you are calling for help from other countries, it means you're not, it means you need their help. It means you can't deal with that situation yourself, right? So let's just be straight about what this actually means. I've done the Strait of Hormuz. I've talked about it for a long time before anybody even knew what it was. And now you've got all these mainstream media. Oh yes, we know. They don't know what they're talking about, guys. They know. Have any of them sailed through it? Oil, liquid, LPG, it all goes through that region, right? That's the reality. Now, what's been dubbed as Operation Fury. When this kicked off, you know, the Iranians, they hit hard, they hit back hard. They actually did a lot more than I thought they would. They've attacked tankers, they've threatened everything that moves through there. Effectively, they've closed the Strait of Hormuz. Shipping is down dramatically to only ships that the Iranians agree. The oil prices has gone ridiculously, ladies and gentlemen, and it ain't coming down. Donald Trump is trying to calm the markets. The war is almost over. We're going to have the Strait of Hormuz open real soon. We're going to have it open real soon. It's going to be open. We're going to get a lot of oil going through there. It's going to be gushing through more than it's ever before. More than it's ever. Hey, Pete, Secretary of War, are we going to get it open soon? Are we going to get it open soon? It's going to be open soon. You don't need to answer that. And I do. I love Donald Trump. I know he doesn't drink, but I feel if he did go drinking, I'd love to go drinking with him. PXF. I definitely love to go drinking with him. Petrol prices at the pump just rocketing ridiculously. Now, Trump's post is full of that classic bravado. We've obliterated them. They're decapitated, but we need a coalition to finish the job. He's framing it as a gift to oil, big oil importers like, I guess, China to come and help secure your own supplies. But right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, okay, pause for a second. Pause. Let's just look through the bravado. And I'm saying this as someone who still, I think I would much rather Trump than, what's his name, Starmer in charge of Britain. Just pause for a second, right? Okay. And ask the question that should be on your minds right now, especially, right, here in Britain, watching your energy prices just rocket. I think it was today, actually. The government have just announced a new scheme to help people if you have oil heating. If you have like an oil heating, I think there's a couple of people on the chat actually who have oil heating. The government are announcing this scheme to help those people. Anyway, so if you're in Britain and you're watching your energy bills rise and wondering what this means, if America is calling out for help like this, literally publicly begging, internationally begging allies, even rivals like China. Say that to yourselves. We got a big problem. We got a big problem in the Strait of Hormuz and the Gulf of Oman and the Persian Gulf. We can't deal with it ourselves. We're asking for China. We want China to send us some. China, can you send us some ships, China? We know you get a lot of oil from there. Can you help us with your ships? When you ask your rivals for help, and look, guys, I'm always honest with you guys. I am. I don't have any corporate sponsors who are pushing like agendas. Although if you are watching out there, I'll be easy swayed. I don't have corporate. I wouldn't. I've got too much of a moral compass. Trust me, I know that. I got offered. Somebody offered me $100,000 once to rat on one of my friends. It didn't end well for the guy who offered me the $100,000. Sometimes now I question whether that was the right decision. But anyway, I know my moral compass is solid. I really do. I guess I can take that with me. So if you're sat there wondering, why the United States would call on rivals like China to send warships, Britain, he's asking Britain to send warships. Don't worry, we don't need them. We don't need your warships. But we'll remember those people who didn't start. They only start the war when it's already won. But please send your battleships now. I'm genuinely seeing right now, and I don't like saying this. Listen, guys. This is from the heart. I do not like saying this, but this is the truth, and I'll always say the truth. What I believe the truth to be. And the truth is this. Could it be that the United States could actually be losing this war? Or at least not winning it as fast and as cleanly as the White House keeps saying, right? Think about it. Just think about this, okay? The United States military has massive advantages. The air power, and I'm going to come on to how that air power has just been rendered. Look, do you know what winds me up so much? the stuff the stuff the mainstream media are talking about now, I spoke about. I told you this like maybe 2 years ago, at least a year ago, right? So just think about this for 1 second, right? The United States military, they have the advantages are unbelievable. Air power. Nobody can even come close to the nobody can come close to the United States with air power. No one. Precision strikes, they've absolutely destroyed Iran's navy, their missile sites, even parts of Karg Island or Kargigi Island. Remember when I was talking about Kargigi Island and you guys were like, what's Sean talking about, Kargigi Island? That makes no sense to me. And now all the mainstream media are like, yes, why didn't Donald Trump destroy the oil infrastructure? Because he wants to take it, right? That's the reality. Money, money, money. Ballistic missiles have been attacking Iran. Ballistic missile attacks from Iran are way down. They are. There's no denying that. The drones as well, they are down. However, the Strait of Hormuz remains closed. Iran keeps disrupting with cheap, asymmetric stuff. And this winds me up right now because I've been sending letters constantly to the MOD. Constantly to the MOD. Guys, you need to deal with asymmetric warfare. Yeah, they're not going to deal with green warfare. They don't care about how expensive your tank is. They don't care about the technology on your aircraft because these wars are going to be fought asymmetrically, non-conventionally. Incidentally, I am an expert in that area as well. Speedboats, laying mines, drones, these are hard to stop completely without boots on the ground or a full naval blockade. United States escorts have been promised. They have, the United States Navy. The United States Navy have promised, and somebody fact check me on this. The United States Navy promised the United States Navy promised, and then they said that they've already escorted ships through, but it turns out they'd not done that at all. That was just that was just fake news. I think that's true. Anyway, look, nobody's going to escort ship. Nobody. Can you imagine saying to the captain, right, lads, can you escort this oil tanker through? The captain has ultimate responsibility for that ship. He's going to say no. Absolutely fucking not. That's what he's going to say. The captain of that ship is going to say no. Absolutely flibbly-dibbly no. I ain't escorting no oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz while we're getting drones, not intercontinental, while we're getting missiles fired at us, and while there's mines. I'm good with that, thank you. But reports say the Navy's stretched, vulnerable, and not keen on babysitting every tanker, which is true. No big multinational fleet has shown up yet beyond America. Public support back home in the United States, it's shaky. Polls show some opposition higher than at the start of the war. And the longer this drags on, the higher the cost. The higher the economic pain, the risk of wider escalation, maybe even ground troops, which I think is inevitable at this point, if air power doesn't do it alone. Trump, and I think he's great. Trump's style is always maximum pressure. It's maximum pressure. Then rallying the world to share the burden. But when the superpower with the biggest air force on the planet, the second biggest air force on the planet, the biggest navy on the planet is saying we've won, but please come and help us, it raises questions. It does, guys. It raises questions. Is this smart coalition building or a sign that Iran's stubborn low-tech defiance is turning what was sold to everyone as a quick, not me, I wasn't sold as this. I told you guys, this is going to be like 3 years, right? At least. I'm not even going to, like, you are going to see things, right? Hang on, let me get this video. There's stuff on the media right now. And honestly, guys, I'm not even going to consider this. I'm not even going to like take anyone serious until 3 years. They're all talking about ceasefires and, oh, we're going to have a ceasefire. It's almost over. In 3 years, when people start talking about this, I may have another, I may have another opinion. However, right now, it's not 3 years. So I'm just like not even considering, I'm not even considering that there's going to be a ceasefire. I'm not even considering that this conflict is even remotely over. Think about it. Just say this to yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest navy in the world by a huge factor. The biggest air force in the world by a huge factor. The second biggest air force in the world by a huge factor are asking for assistance. Look, guys, this hurts. This genuinely hurts me to say this. I'm saying this because it's what I believe. I also want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. I do. So is what we're seeing right now, Donald Trump calling out for international assistance by their enemies, China, because it came from China. Is this smart coalition building or a sign that low-tech defiance is turning what was once sold as a quick, decisive smackdown into a messy, expensive grind? Honestly, I've got so much inside information on the war in Ukraine, like stuff I can't even talk about because it can only come from like a few places and I can't talk about it. The longer this war goes on, the more that favor starts to go to Iran. And Iran's a big country, guys. Iran's a big country. It's going to take a lot of manpower to take that. Analysts are split. You guys know where I am, right? And it's with a heavy heart I'm saying that. It's with an absolute heavy heart I'm saying that because I never wanted to see the day that the United States Navy fails and the United States Air Force can't suppress these targets. Some say that the United States are still dominating and will force it open soon. Others warn it's a crossroads, with Iran raising the price enough to make Washington blink first. Now, look, guys, let's be clear, right? We don't know, we don't know how this is going to end. Right now in my head, I've got my head and my heart fighting. My head and my heart are fighting. My heart is with America, the West, the coalition, and my head is looking at the facts and saying, oh, right, what's real here? One thing is clear. The leader of the free world is out there pleading for backup, for assistance on the most critical sea lane in the world. I think it's fair. I think it's reasonable, and I don't think it's anti-American. I would never say anything that was anti-American. I've got a lot of friends that are American. I love Americans. I love American culture. I do, guys. I absolutely do. And America is one of the places I'd potentially move to when everything kicks off in the United Kingdom, potentially tomorrow, right? I'm just asking the question, right? If the world's largest navy, air force, the world's biggest military is pleading for backup on the most critical sea lane in the world, I think it's fair to ask the question, if the momentum isn't quite as it seems, if America's calling for the cavalry, even from unlikely partners like China, maybe, just maybe, this war isn't the slam dunk and victory parade that we were all promised, right? Maybe that's the case, guys, all right? I don't want that to be true. I absolutely don't. Listen, and for those of you guys who've been following me for a while, I've told you guys, if I was in Star Wars, I would absolutely be, if we was living in Star Wars right now, I would definitely be part of the, Empire. I would. I'd be part of the Empire with one of those sweet uniforms. Right, so let's talk about Benjamin Netanyahu, right? Okay, let me get some comments, actually. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Right, listen, guys, if you've got comments, please throw them down. Please throw them down now, because I'm struggling to get all these comments. There's so many. In fact, hang on. Kinder. Hello, Kinder. Why you know? Kinder, why you know? He's saying we're tired of the anti-American BS from other white countries. Right, Kinder, I am absolutely not giving anti-American BS. I'm giving you guys the facts, and I'm giving people the, I'm giving people what I'm seeing right now. Kinder, I think you need to watch my other videos. I do. I think Kinder needs to watch my other videos. The real Saffras is saying, sorry, I'm late, waking up here in Hollywood, but isn't Netanyahu dead or not? Right, okay, so let's jump. Let me get the comments, and I will come on to Netanyahu next. Sean, America cannot beat Hat 2. I don't know what that means. How are they the best? I don't know what I don't know what hat. Hang on, Hat 2. Give me a second. Let me Google this. Hat 2. Hat. Right, I've got a yoga. This is a yoga pose. Right. Right. I don't know. Hat. Right. I think I'm missing something out here. Hat. No, right, okay. Is that a yoga pose? Right, I'm not entertaining that. I do think America could be a yoga pose. You're jealous because we basically, the UK on steroids, Canadians are not smarter, more attractive, or more economically superior to Americans in any capacity. Right, Kinder, I'm not arguing with you, Kinder. You are absolutely right, okay? I'm totally on the side of the United States. I am. I'm totally on the side of the United States. I've got friends who are American, and they're always asking me to go over and move to Texas. Hey Sean, when you come over to Texas, I'm gonna buy you a 6-shooter. Yeah, we can roll with those things. No, bro, you can get it in 338 or 358 Magnum. So listen, Kinder, I'm absolutely on the side of America. I'm giving you guys I'm giving you guys my analysis, right? Right, listen, guys, I'm literally just jumping down the moment. Band again is saying America don't need Gulf oil; it's self-sufficient at home. Other countries need it. Yeah. When we talk about America is America don't need anyone. They absolutely don't need anyone. Whether this war is won or lost, America's still going to be the superpower, right? They've got all the guns, they've got all the tanks, they've got all the shit. No one can challenge America. No one, all right? We need to get that straight, okay? No one can challenge America's dominance. What I'm saying, right, is if you're screaming out for help, kind of doesn't look like you're in charge, right? Googleinos is saying Iran threatens to strike Ukraine. Right, okay, so I've heard this. This isn't okay. So, right, listen, Googleinos. Do you know what? Googleinos, I will send you. Right, Googleinos, if you're on and you're listening, Googleinos, if you're on and you're listening right now, send me a message with that, and I will send you to my TikTok, and I will give you some inside information on that, because I do have some inside information on that I can't divulge in. So I'm just going to leave it there. Joel de Riviera saying Palpatine did nothing wrong. Right, let me jump down. Silly Gallardi is saying Benjamin Netanyahu is not dead. Trust me, many in Israel would love it if it was, but it's not. Right, okay. Listen, there's a lot of question marks. Listen, I'll be honest, I don't know what the question. I don't know what's real anymore. I absolutely don't know what's real anymore. There was the video yesterday, right, of Benjamin Netanyahu. And it did look like AI. There's no denying it. It did look like artificial intelligence. And then today, there was this a security briefing that is usually chaired by Benjamin Netanyahu. And I'm just going to share this video with you. Again, this may be AI. I don't know what's real anymore, guys. So let me share this with you. Okay, so normally Benjamin Netanyahu is sat in that center chair, and that doesn't look like him, right?
המאבק העולמי והאזורי מול איראן, אותו מובילים נשיא ארצות הברית דונלד טראמפ וראש ממשלת ישראל בנימין נתניהו, עולה מדרגה ונכנס לישורת ההכרעה.
Okay, right. I don't know what they're saying. I don't understand that language, and it sounds beautiful. What I'm saying is that flag looks a little bit like AI as well. What I'm saying is Benjamin Netanyahu usually chairs this meeting. Now, he wasn't there today, which obviously fuels the suspicions that is all over the internet right now that he's brown bread. Right, James Brook is saying most of us are pro-Trump, pro-America, pro-USA. I certainly believe Trump in this war has made a big mistake. Yeah, right. Where's that? I don't know. I can't find her. There was a girl on here, and she thinks we're all like she thinks we're some sort of liberal woke tards, isn't she? Right. I'm jumping down, guys. God, there's loads of comments on the chat. Right, listen, guys, there's so many questions. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of those live streams, right? I've got so much information I want to give to you. I want to jump on now to, if you live in the United Kingdom, tomorrow, we've got the, tomorrow, we have, give me a second. I'm still getting work coming in. Right, tomorrow we have got the Al-Quds Day March, which is a very pro-Iranian, right? Whether you guys agree with that or not, I don't. I think they should all be arrested. That's happening tomorrow in London. Now, the police, excuse me. Now, the police in the United Kingdom are absolutely out of their depth with this. London is now at risk. London at risk of Tehran plot attack as Met Police steps up security for Al-Quds Day protest. So first of all, I'm pretty sure it came out on the news, right? I'm pretty sure it came out on the news, on the mainstream media, that the Al-Quds Day protest was cancelled. I'm pretty sure that happened, right? Turns out, even if a protest's cancelled, we still have to have more officers, because maybe the people who've been told the protest's been cancelled, they just turn up anyway. Right, let me just real quick. I'm going to share this video with you. Before I get into Al-Quds Day. If you're trying to consider about, I did a video earlier, right? I did a video earlier about drones, the future of drone warfare, and how we are going to be sending young men and women into this conflict zone with no protection. If you want to understand what's happening in the Middle East right now, and you want to understand why potentially the United States may be losing, I'm just going to share with you guys this video. Give me a second, all right? So this is why the United States may be losing. And it's a cool video. I like this video.
My name is Shahed 136. I cost $20,000, and I'm being used to bankrupt the most advanced air defense systems on the planet. Introduced by Iran in 2020. I'm a suicide.
Okay, so if you guys are watching this video right now, this is a video. I think this video is brilliant. This is a video explaining in real simple terms how you cannot the evolutions in drone warfare. All right, I'm talking about these things. I'm talking about these things with wings. Because these things with little copters, they're not changing the battlefield. They're not. I promise you guys. These with the wings, with the propellers, copters, they are not changing the battlefield. I've said this from day one. These things with wings, this is what's going to change the battlefield, right?
Drone. I don't come back. I find my target and I fly into it.
They don't send one of me, they send hundreds. While air defenses chase us, the real missiles get through.
So this is the new warfare, guys. This is and this is what I've been banging my fucking head on the. Honestly, you know what? I released this information. It's probably going to be a national scandal. It's probably going to be I would say it's going to be a national scandal. The information I've got. And the emails I've sent and 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 I've sent, constantly bombarding these people at government level to do something. So now you have, let's just watch the video.
They shoot me down with Patriot missiles. Each one costs $3 million. I cost $20,000.
Okay, so each Patriot missile costs $3 million. That's why he says there. Each Patriot missile costs $3 million. I cost $20,000. So now look at this, guys. So that you can afford to send 150 of these cheap drones for the cost of one interceptor missile. And let me be quite clear, these numbers are totally wrong. Oh, sorry, let me just go back there.
They shoot me down with Patriot missiles. Each one costs $3 million. I cost $20,000. They can't keep doing that.
Russia fired 3,900 of me in a single month.
Okay, Russia fired 3,900 in 1 month. Think about that. 3,900. And when I tell you guys, when I've been telling you guys for fucking, sorry, I don't mean to swear about you guys. When I've been telling people that we are heading towards a global conflict on an industrial scale, this is what I'm talking about, guys, an industrial scale. And the people in Whitehall, the politicians, the ministers, oh, yes, oh, yes, let's get another white paper report. Yes, yes, let's get it signed by the top generals. Yes, right. I want a second opinion on this white paper. Yes. Yes. Another 2 million on the report. Yes. Okay. They both say the same thing. Right. Get me a third report. Yes. Okay. We need more money for Patriot missiles. Guys, let's be clear. Spending more on defense is not working. We need to totally rethink defense. And it is because of drones. It's not because of these ones with the quadcopters. It's because of these ones with the wings, the ones that we are seeing on the screens. And right now, we are absolutely 100%, no denying this, we are heading towards a situation where cheap drones are going to be destroying expensive kit and equipment, radar domes, radar dishes, phalanx. All this stuff's expensive. You can't keep replacing it, even if you've got an unlimited budget. Like a lot of these Emirati countries have, they've got unlimited budgets. It takes time to solder those bits together, to do this, to put that computer chip, to cut that circuit board, to put the sensors in, even with an unlimited budget, right? How long, okay, quick question. How long do you think it takes to build one of those drones? How long do you think it, like one of these Shaheeds, how long do you think it takes? The body, so the body of those drones, if you've got the plugs and the mold, well, no, you don't even need the plugs. If you've got the molds, yeah, if you've got the molds for these drones, you can pull, like one person with one set of molds can pull one drone every 6 hours. That's what they can pull. They can pull the body every 6 hours. How long do you think it takes to make a Patriot missile? I'm going to say it's a little longer than 6 hours, right? Sorry, let me, because this is
through. They shoot me down with Patriot missiles. Each one costs $3 million. I cost $20,000. They can't keep doing that.
Russia fired 3,900 of me in a single month on February 2025. That's 130 every single day. That's one every 11 minutes.
The U.S. studied me, reverse engineered me, built their own version called Lucas. February 28, 26 Operation Epic Fury. They used it against Iran, the country that built me.
From a factory in Iran to Russia to Lebanon to America. The $20,000 drone that broke the rules of modern war.
So that's the reality, guys, okay? We are now seeing drone warfare go low-tech. And low-tech and mass is defeating high-tech. That's the reality. There's no questioning that. I've been following this conflict. I've got first-hand knowledge, first-hand accounts, first-hand understanding of what's happening in Ukraine. Low-cost drones. Yes, we need more Patriot missiles. Doesn't work like that anymore, guys. Doesn't work like that anymore. You can't produce Patriot missiles as quickly as you can. So what I'm getting at here is, maybe, just maybe, things are not all as they seem. Maybe things are all not as they seem. Right, let me jump onto this, guys. Right, where are we? Okay, so tomorrow in the United Kingdom, it is the Al-Quds Day March, right? It's the Al-Quds Day March. And let me share this with you guys again. I don't know if you guys have just jumped on or maybe not, but let me just share this headline with you guys again real quick, and then we'll talk about this. So if you live in the United Kingdom, tomorrow we are at risk. London at risk of Tehran plot attack as Met steps up security for Al-Quds Day protest. I mean, you would think, wouldn't you? You would think that with this protest being cancelled, you would kind of think that with this protest being cancelled, it's not, you know, you don't need any extra police because the protest being cancelled. However, tomorrow, London is bracing itself for what could be one of the worst days in the city's history. I'm talking about the Al-Quds Day, the annual demonstration calling for Palestinian rights and the liberation of Jerusalem. So they're actually calling for Jewish people to be expelled from Jerusalem, which I think's ironic when a lot of these people are all about, you know, integration and multiculturalism. So listen, let's just get onto this, okay? Now, this year is different, like very different. the Home Secretary of the United Kingdom, Shabina Mahmood. We love Shabina Mahmood and her very voluptuous hair. She's got beautiful hair. Her hair, Shabina Mahmood's hair, is like a velvet dream. It's like a velvet dream of antiquities. It's like a velvet dream of decadence, actually. Shabina Mahmood's hair is a velvet dream of decadence. She stepped in and banned the march through central London, which is the first time since 2012 that powers like this have been used. Why? Because the Met Police have made it really clear, with the war raging in the Middle East, the fallout from strikes on Iran and the sheer numbers expected, and counter-protesters, the risk of serious public disorder, even outright violence, riots, is too high. Instead of a full march, organisers from the Islamic Human Rights Commission are going ahead with a static rally. No moving parts, no marchers, just standing in a corner. It will be on the south bank of the Thames, along Albert Embankment, strictly from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Counter demonstrations will be kept on the north side. Now, here's the clever bit the police came up with. They're using the River Thames itself as a natural barrier. And look, I'm not going to talk about Ukraine in this live stream. I'll be talking about that in other live streams. When you've got a natural piece of water, use it, right? Let the ground dictate. So the police are using the Thames as a barrier. Right. Counter-protesters on the north, standing still. Yay! And protesters on the south, standing still. Yay! So there shouldn't be any chance of these two sides mixing, right? You would think that. However, let's see what happens. Obviously, the Ukraine reference is the River Dnipro that bisects the country in almost 50-50. The bridges are closed, obviously, except from emergency vehicles, and marine units on the water will be keeping watch. To make all this happen safely, the Met Police is pulling out the stops with more than 1,000 extra officers on duty. That's not local bobbies, that's their public order teams, reinforcements from other forces, other neighborhoods. They're calling in reinforcements from other regions. They will all be out in force, ready to step in decisively even against anything crossing the line. So if you're on the Al-Quds Day march, you'll probably get told, retold, offered a sandwich, stroked. They might even go down on one knee and do the fist. If you're on the other side, the counter-protest, you're probably just going to get battens. Right? Probably for entertainment purposes, that's all. Now, this is not just about crowd control. British intelligence has been on high alert. MI5, GCHQ, and I could probably name quite a lot of more other agencies as well. They've all been sending warnings. We can't forget that over 20 Iranian state-backed terror plots have been foiled since 2022 in the United Kingdom. Assassination attempts, threats against dissidents. There's this radio signal originating from Iran that people are saying it could be sleeper cell activations. Right here on our streets, GCHQ are monitoring communications around the clock for any whiff of trouble. There is genuine concern, and I feel it too, that tomorrow London could be targeted in some sort of Iran-linked retaliatory strike, especially with everything that's going on right now. Of course, we all value the right to peacefully protest in the United Kingdom. We do. We do. We all love the right to peacefully protest in the United Kingdom. However, tomorrow, I think resources, legislation is going to be pushed to the absolute limits. I do. I think that's coming tomorrow, guys. You know, we've already seen that a certain demographic, a certain type of person, they don't listen to, you know, they don't feel they are, you know, they don't feel they're part of your laws. They feel that their God is the overarching law and your laws mean nothing to them. Right, listen, guys, have I got time to go to the toilet? Because I'm absolutely gasping for a wee. Right, guys, I'm gonna run to the toilet. I'm gonna keep this live stream going. I'm gonna go to the toilet. I'm gonna be right back. I may have a bottle of cider with me. I may not. I don't know. I may have a bottle of cider. I may not. But I'm gonna go to the toilet. I'm gonna come back, maybe with a bottle of cider, maybe that. Can you guys just wait there? And if you're on and you've not done so already, can you please hit those buttons below? If you want to know tomorrow's news today, if you want to know, if you want to believe that, if you want today's news is old news, hit those buttons down below. We need a slogan, guys. Give me a second. Right, thank you for hanging around, guys. Thank you for hanging around. Right, let me see if I can open this. Yes. Ah, shit. Right, this is pretty high strength cider, guys. It's like, I think it's like 10%. Right, let me jump on the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I think I've got through all the points. I do. I think I've got... Listen, for those of you guys that are on the chat right now, I absolutely apologize that I've been content focused. There was just so much stuff right now that's happening. And I need to get that out. So I'm on the chat right now, guys. I'm on the chat. Googleinos is saying, stop the scaremongering. France says no to sending warships to the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, so European countries, we can't get involved because the bigger war is coming and the bigger war is Ukraine. So you can imagine now, let's think about the money, guys. Let's think about the money. It's always about the money. Dum, dum, diddy, dum. French defense companies, French military industrial companies. I don't even know if they have any. All the companies that supply white flags. I can't complain about French anymore because Britain's pretty much surrendering as well. They will be making a shit ton of money if those ships get sent and they start to use weapons, right? So they're going to be lobbying. Go, 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 go. You should absolutely go. You should absolutely go. When countries say, no, we're not going, it means there's a bigger fish to fry. This is a combat indicator. This is one of the reasons why I said to you guys, absolutely, the United States are going to get involved in the Middle East, because you could see that there was no pushback from the United States military-industrial complex, the Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, Pratt & Whitney. You guys know what I'm talking about. There was no pushback, right? Because those defense companies knew, yeah, we're going to be spending a shitload of money in the Middle East, and we don't really need the Ukrainian conflict to use munitions. Sean's part Russian, American, English, and Japanese. Well, I've not done a Japanese accent. Have I done it? I don't know if I've done a Japanese accent. Right, listen, guys, I'm just jumping down. I'm going to get the newest comments. I'm going to get Googleinos again. Googleinos, Trump administration has threatened news outlets over coverage of critical of the Iran war. Right, I'm just jumping. Right, I'm at the bottom. Right, I'm at the bottom, guys. Listen, again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm apologizing. I'm struggling to get everyone's comments on the chat, so I'm literally at the bottom right now. Kinder is saying, you think half of Canadians don't believe UK and Europe will support an attack on US? I don't know what that means, Kinder. I don't know what that means. Siligaladi is saying, we had the Kingdom of Israel and Judah, but modern Israel since 1948. Jordan, I don't know. Right, I don't know. I'm jumping in here. Is there beef in the chat? I don't know if there's beef in the chat. I don't know. MorphFX is saying Reuters report that Iranian news agencies say that Iran's warns residents to leave. The areas of so they're telling people to leave Dubai. Now, this is something you only expect of a country that's on the front foot, right? You only expect, look, and it is with an absolute heavy heart I'm saying this, but I'm questioning whether the narrative from the United States about this war is as accurate. Look, you never want to tell people you're losing. Never. You never tell people you're losing. Never let people see you cry, right? If things are getting bad, don't let people know. Never. From what MorphFX is saying there, and I have read this as well, Reuters report that Iranian news agencies are calling, they're saying, listen, there's certain areas in Dubai, if you guys live there, you kind of need to get out. That is a trope that is normally only conducted by a country that's on the front foot in that conflict. For example, Israel and southern Lebanon, right? The Israelis, they say to the people in southern Lebanon, yeah, get out, we're coming in. Just literally get out, we're coming in. We're going to blast our way through there. It's only ever done when you're on the front foot, right? And that's just another combat indicator, right? Dan Hole Metal Detecting is saying someone must be listening to you about drones because I see quite a few jobs advertised on Indeed for building them. Yeah, in the United Kingdom, you can't build drones. It's not feasible to build drones in the United Kingdom. It's too expensive to build things in the United Kingdom. The manpower, the labor, these things, all right? They need to be built as cheaply as possible, guys. And unfortunately, when you build these things in the United Kingdom and you build them for the defense industry, your company has to have so much red tape, cybersecurity experts, people security cleared up to secret at least. You have to be registered in the United Kingdom. It's just not feasible to build these things in the United Kingdom at the scale that is required. And that's the key thing, ladies and gentlemen. When we talk about drone warfare, it's all at scale required. That's the reality, guys, okay? At the scale required. Yes, of course, Britain can build these drones that are better. But what does better mean? It's like, Okay, what is the purpose of the army? What is the purpose of the army? What is the purpose of your military? Let's go with army. Let's go with army, right? What is the purpose of your army? Is the purpose of your army to have the fittest, the best looking, in my case, with the most fantastic hair and the most fantastic kit and equipment and the most technologically advanced night vision goggles and the weapons that are so advanced you don't even understand how they work? Or is the purpose of your military to close with and kill the enemy, take ground and hold ground? Because those two things are not synonymous, and they're certainly, I could argue they're certainly exclusive. So let's just think about this, right? Britain are spending 100 grand on one of these. Let's just say Britain spends 100 grand on one of these cheap drones. That means the Iranians, or whoever's producing them cheapest, can produce 5 for your 1. This is good. Look, guys, regardless of anything else, just remember this, okay? Remember this, okay? We are heading towards a global conflict. We are heading towards a global conflict on an industrial scale. And the problem is, here in the West, we cannot industrialize war. That's the problem, guys. That's absolutely the problem. We can't industrialize. Slim is saying 20,000. Yeah, okay, right, let me be clear, all right? I do think the number 20,000, I do think that's low. Let me share this video again. I'm going to share this again because I love this video. Let me share this again.
Follow Wartoon every day.
Sorry, let me bring it back.
My name is Shahed136. I cost $20,000.
So he's saying he costs $20,000. First of all, right, they cost more than that. They absolutely cost more than that. But let's just go with it, right?
And I'm being used to bankrupt the most advanced air defense systems on the planet.
Okay, so the Shahed drone was never meant. It was never meant to evade radar. It was never meant to. It was never meant to be stealth. It was never meant to destroy. To be able. Sorry, it was never meant to be able to. It was never built to be technologically advanced. I don't know if anybody. Do you guys know that the Shahed drone was actually designed in Germany? This is a German design. I don't know if you guys know that or not. So the Shahed, that design it's a German design. 9.
Find my target and I fly into it.
They don't send one of me, they send hundreds. While air defenses chase us, the real missiles get through.
They shoot me down with Patriot missiles. Each one costs $3 million.
Consider that. Consider that, ladies and gentlemen. We are sending up missiles that cost $3 million. Patriot missiles don't cost $3 million. I don't know where they're getting their numbers from, but whatever. The price is ridiculous. And this is what people don't understand. We are heading towards a global conflict on an industrial scale. Yes, the Patriot missile system is no match for cheap Shahed drones. Our Patriot missile system can down cheap Shahed drones at 200 miles. Okay, how many Patriot missiles do you have? We have a sufficient amount. Do you have 150? No, we have 12. Okay, so you're going to take down the first 12 drones. The other 138 are going to destroy your whole launch pad, your radar, and then they're just going to send their missiles.
Cost $20,000. They can't keep doing that. Russia fired 3,900 of me in a single month.
Okay, so again, so February 2025, it was a big day. It was a real big last year. In case anybody forgot what year it was. February last year, the Russians fired 3,900 in a month into Ukraine. Think about that, guys. That is war industrialized. And here in the West, we are doing this. Because we've got no political leadership.
February 2025. That's 130 every single day. That's 1 every 11 minutes.
The US studied me, reverse engineered me, built their own version called Lucas. February 28, 26 Operation Epic Fury. They used it against Iran, the country that built me.
From a factory in Iran to Russia to Lebanon to America. The $20,000 drone that broke the rules of modern war.
So I don't know if you get, listen, they're saying that this is an Iranian weapon system. It's not, it's a German weapon system. The Shahed, it was designed, and I think the prototypes as well were made in Germany. I don't know if you guys can find that on the internet or not. Maybe you can. Right, I have got a couple more videos to share actually. We've got Baghdad, and we've got oh god, right, yeah, right, okay, right. I'm gonna have to go on another little quest. We're gonna have to go on another little quest, guys. Okay, I've totally forgot about this. So let me share this. Give me a second.
To do something like
U.S. intelligence believe the Iranians squirreled away what's left of their uranium into what's known as Pickaxe Mountain, a nearly impenetrable bunker buried deep in granite where evil scientists have been working around the clock, cobbling back.
He actually said evil scientists, all right? He actually, listen, all right? I don't think anyone's evil. It's just a matter of perspective, right? But he actually said evil scientists.
Pickaxe Mountain, a nearly impenetrable bunker buried deep in granite where evil scientists have been working around the clock, cobbling back together a program.
Sorry, I can't take this serious anymore. Evil scientists. Evil science. Like, what makes a scientist evil? But is it evil? Is it evil mini-me?
Program that was obliterated during Operation Midnight Hammer. The bunker busters might not be able to do the trick.
Oh, fucking hell. Fucking hell. Jesus, by the beard of Zeus. Where's my thing? I'm not going to do it. Can you guys remember how many times I've used this straw as an example of how bunker busters may not be able to take out these nuclear facilities? How many times? How many times have I sat here and said, look, guys, if you want it, you need boots on the ground. You literally need boots on the ground to do this. You can't do that. There's too many things that can go wrong.
Reports say special forces might have to be inserted to physically shut it down on the ground.
So, right. If you're on and you are not considering hitting those buttons down below, honestly, I give you guys real-time, real-world analysis. The stuff I say comes out afterwards. And then everybody jumps on it. So literally, guys, if you want tomorrow's news today, hit those buttons down below. Like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, because it really does help me out in the algorithm. And it's free.
we might have to have boots on the ground. Okay. But for a limited thing, right? Just for this one sort of attack, and it's not going to spiral out from there, right?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think people are getting onto this now. I think people understand what's coming.
Let us get our foot in the door. Okay. Look, all we're asking is a foot in the door, a 1 foot. You know, what's the risk with just 1 foot in the door? It's just, what's the big deal? That it will quickly spiral out into many thousands of Americans in there. If anything were to happen during the assault on the nuclear site, there would automatically require a rescue mission. That itself could get bogged down. That attempting to do something like this almost guarantees some level of complication and operational failure.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it there because I'm just conscious of the time. So the reason I shared that video with you guys is because bunker busters, like I always say, it's like I've got some sort of military experience knowledge and credibility, right? It is. It's almost like I've got military experience, credibility, and knowledge. You can only do so much from the air. You can. You can't confirm anything from the air. You can't hold anything from the air. You can destroy a shitload of stuff, and maybe. But look, guys, the reason I'm sharing that video with you guys is because they're literally saying exactly what I said after Operation, what was it, Airborne Hammer or something? Hammer time. Right, let me jump up and get some comments, guys. Templar Matt is saying, oh, hang on, let me get Kinder, because I know Kinder's been quite negative. Oh, in fact, let me get Cindy. Cindy's saying, evil definitely exists. It's just subjective. Yeah, look, if you live in Iran right now and you're part of the Iranian regime, you think the Americans are evil. You do, and that's the reality. Kinder is saying, it's in the name. You hate racists because you're a non-racist. You get to act violent and reduce their yeah. Right, Templar Matt is saying, this war has distracted a lot of us from the problems we already have in the United Kingdom, with invasion happening and more will be coming now. The weather is improving. We need to sort England out of it. I agree, Templar Matt. I'm with you, buddy. If you watched my video earlier on, I was talking about mass migration. I was talking about the likely scenarios for a civil war in the United Kingdom. Absolutely. And you know what's gonna divert us even more? When we go into Ukraine, because that's happening. Do you know what's going to divert us even more than that? When we have to go and defend the Falklands. Yeah, they're getting prepared for an attack. They're getting prepared for war. Absolutely. People look, guys, if the Eastern Europeans are getting ready for a good old-fashioned WW3, and I'm a little bit cautious why the Germans have not got involved yet. Right, I'm jumping down again. There's loads of comments. Sean, did Starmer only have a couple of, or did he smoke the full packet? I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. No idea what that means. Big B is saying Juice Vault. I think that's how you pronounce it, which means, I think that means God willing. Starmer could send thousands of drones to the Middle East. First of all, he can't. We don't have thousands of drones to send to the Middle East. The Ukrainians have. So, who was it? I think it was Dubai. Maybe it was Dubai. Maybe, I don't know. One of the Emirati countries. They were asking to buy Ukrainian interceptor drones, and the Ukrainians said, "Nope, we're good. Nope, we're good. We're not going to sell you any interceptor drones. We need them all ourselves." Gerald of Riviera is saying, "I'm definitely worried about being called racist. It's why the boomers allowed the country to go from yeah." I don't think it was the boomers. I think it was the Gen Xers. The sophisticated Octopus Interceptor anti-drone systems are being manufactured in the United Kingdom for Ukraine to use against Russia, with production ramping up to reach thousands per month. So, okay, right. Where do I go with this? So earlier on the live stream, I did I think it got like 10 views or something. Earlier on, I gave, and I didn't do it for, I might even make that video private. Earlier on in the live, I did an earlier live stream talking about drone warfare and the future of drones. So if you want a full response to this, I did maybe like 25 minutes on it. The problems with any copter-based interceptors, anything like this, guys, anything like that, right? First of all, it relies on radar. Any copter-based solution integrated with ground-based radar rapid response models face significant performance constraints because the battery-powered drones, which they have to be, they're battery-powered, right, lack the capability to fly both high and fast simultaneously. And the current battery technology just limits the endurance. You cannot intercept with copters at scale. You can't, guys. You absolutely can't do it. It's not even now. The problem here is the government have. I was literally talking about this very project earlier on. I was talking about this very project. The government have invested hundreds of millions in this project, so they need to make it work, right? They need to make it work because they've invested. But you know what, guys? It's going to fail. It's going to fail. It's going to be an embarrassment. Oh, but Sean, the British military know exactly what they need. They know exactly how warfare. Yeah. Did anyone spend 5.5 billion on an armored vehicle and then it get like scrapped because it wasn't like worthwhile? Yeah. So Googling us is right. The British military is spending a lot of, the British military is spending a lot of money on drones and interceptors. They're not they're worthless, guys. I promise you, they are worthless. Absolutely worthless. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this live stream down. I've just looked at the time. I've been waffling for far too long. I've been waffling for far too long, ladies and gentlemen. I want to throw this out there now, okay? And I'm asking the question. I'm seeing the lines. I'm seeing the footprints. I'm seeing the weeds growing. I'm seeing the plants grow through the weeds. Could America be losing this war? I see a strong argument for the Americans losing this war right now, or maybe at least not going to according to plan. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu, there's a lot of talk online. I don't know what's real anymore, guys, because of artificial intelligence. Is Benjamin Netanyahu dead? I don't know. What I do know is there is a lot of suspicious activity around that prospect, right? And I think everybody in the United Kingdom need to brace themselves for tomorrow, especially if you live in London, because we have the Al-Quds Day March, it's basically a pro-terrorism march. It's been allowed to go in London. It's been stopped tomorrow. So let's see what happens. Lone Wolf is saying, turn your back on the USA will turn out to be the biggest mistake of UK history. What's left of it? Set your own demise. Oh, God, I'm getting loads of negativity from Americans here. Look, whether I get negativity or not, I'm giving you guys what I'm seeing, all right? I'm totally pro-American. I'm totally pro-American. Listen, it's absolutely not me that's turned my back. Andy is saying, Sean, remember TSR2? No, I don't. I don't know what TSR2 means. I'm just going to jump down, guys. Kinder is saying it's more effective than Russia 2. The IRGC is dead. Googling us is in Al-Quds Day rally in Canada. Islamists threaten to stab and behead Canadians. Right, okay. So what's really happening here, right? What's really happening here is, yeah, it's bullshit, isn't it? You know, they're telling you what they want to do. I'm going to stab and behead everyone. And then you get the liberals say, what's that video that you guys have seen the video, right? There's a guy and he's on a megaphone and he's saying something like, Islam is the religion of peace. And then literally behind him, somebody throws like an explosive device into the, this Muslim guy throws an explosive device over his shoulder. It's quite funny. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down now. I am closing it down now. I'm going to leave Googling us' comment on there because I do think it's relevant to everybody, okay? If that's what they're saying in Canada, let's see what they're going to be saying tomorrow in London. I am going to be on the live stream tomorrow, guys. I'm going to be back on tomorrow morning at 10, as I normally am, every morning at 10, every evening at 8. I'm going to be back on in the day as well, and we're going to be doing live streaming from what's happening in We're going to be live streaming, see what's happening in London tomorrow. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you good evening. Stay safe. I'm absolutely pro-American. I am. I'm absolutely pro-American. I think I got some negativity, but listen, let's not worry about it because I tell you guys the truth, right? I tell you guys the truth, what I'm seeing, what I'm analyzing, and that's where I go. Anyway, I'll catch you in the morning.